From the Aishin Broadcast Studio, it's the Executive Spotlight.
Welcome to AutoSuccess Executive Spotlight. I'm Kyle Alexander, and joining me today is Carly Bjorgen from Dealer Teamwork. Hey Carly, thanks for joining me in studio today.
Hi Kyle, it's so nice to be here.
Thanks for coming in. We've had some great conversation throughout the morning, and we're going to continue it here, talking a lot about kind of the state of sales from your perspective at Dealer Teamwork and auto dealerships today. My first question is going to center around affordability, kind of a big issue, hot topic now with car buyers. How has this affected the way that people are shopping for cars right now?
Sure. Well, you nailed it. There's a lot more pressures happening in terms of affordability. We haven't seen the decreases in automotive pricing that some people anticipated, for sure not in terms of the interest rates that we anticipated. They've stayed pretty stagnant. So people are feeling it. People are feeling the pressures in their everyday life. And of course, when it comes to buying a car. So what does that mean? Unlike 5 years ago when we had no vehicles, so everybody just wanted to find what they wanted and get their hands on it, we have the inventory now,
Right.
but people are looking for the pricing. So the conversation has definitely changed from what do I want to what do I need and can I afford it? So in terms of how people are shopping, it means they're doing more research. They're spending more time online trying to figure out what's available. They're waiting for the promotions, incentives, and they're even negotiating with dealers a little bit more than they used to.
Absolutely. And kind of sticking in this realm of, the customer journey, customer service more in particular, how important is customer service and the relationships that dealers have with their vendors? And also, this is kind of a two-parter, but what should dealers look for in their vendor partners?
I'm a little bit biased on this one, but I would say it's imperative. Your relationship with your vendors, they shouldn't just be a tool that you use. They should be somebody who's supporting your bottom line, supporting your goals. They should be an extension of everybody inside of your dealership. So in terms of what to look for, one, I think it's people who are proactive, not just reactive. Again, this market is ever changing. We've seen it in the last 5 years. We'll continue to see it. We're a resilient group, the automotive industry. So again, proactive thinking, not reactive. You need people who are going to be transparent. Again, you want to know what's happening, what's supporting your bottom line, what's going into your business. You want to have people who are communicative, not just tell me what you want, not just order takers, and then you'll see if that gets fulfilled. You want people who are going to be there and consulting with you.
Right.
That being said, again, if I were to sum all of that up, I'd say you want a partner, right? You want somebody
Sure.
to be there with you, working towards your goals, supporting your goals, and getting you to that next level.
Right. Shifting gears a little bit here too. So many shoppers nowadays, doesn't matter what industry, but I know personally from the last car that I bought, I started my journey online. We're looking for cars online a lot more nowadays. What can dealers do to improve this online shopping experience for their customers?
Great question. I think a lot of dealers have stayed in that mentality that they have their website and that's about it. I would say it's a great time to do a spring cleaning on your website. Right now, the things that you should be looking for is, again, payment first, that transparency across the board. That's what everybody is looking for. I'm sure when you were shopping for a car, you were trying to figure out who you could buy for. And part of that was seeing what they had on their website, but did that follow through? Did you see a payment one place and could you find it on the website later? Right? Another piece of that is going to be just making inventory easy to shop for, to filter for. People have a general idea. Maybe they want an all-wheel drive vehicle. Maybe they still want an EV. Maybe they want something with, more than a two-seater if they've got kids. So making that easy to find. And then you nailed it. Everybody's shopping online. And how do we shop online now? Do you use your laptop?
Oh, it's right in my phone. It's right in my pocket.
There you go. Nailed it. So having that mobile first optimization is key. So again, I kind of mentioned that spring cleaning. I would urge every car dealer to take a moment and to go through their website and try to be in the statehood of their customer. We still have a lot of CTAs out there that aren't necessarily relevant. I'll give you an example. I see a ton of websites right now where they will say, here's this 2026 Honda Pilot in stock, and then the next CTA is check inventory. Oh, that
Kinda
doesn't
vague, yeah.
follow. Yep.
Right,
We,
right.
we know it's in stock. We know
Yeah.
you have it. I got to this car, right? We have a lot of dealers who still have too many CTAs. So another part of this is also for the dealer side to look at what are you optimizing for. So you know your close rate, ideally. If you're really on top of your game, you know your close rate by lead type. So you know if you're more likely to get a sale from a form, a call, a chat, and then you're setting up your website to engage your customers that way. So you're giving yourself more opportunities. You're having people come to your website and engage with you the way that you know that you're going to sell.
Right.
So all of that to say, if I had to give people took one thing from this conversation, I would say spring cleaning. It's here. CTAs, take a look.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds, I mean, to me, that kind of sounds like just kind of simplifying some of the things that can be boiled down into maybe a couple calls to action instead of several across the web page, correct?
Yes. It can be really overwhelming, right? You have finance your vehicle, you have optimize my payments, you have schedule a test drive. Is it in stock? Okay, what do I really need to know? And again, even that duplication of having different ways to get to the same form, or it says in stock, but check my availability. Again, there's a lot of room to just make it easier for anybody who's searching to get to what they need to get to.
Awesome insight there, Carly. Let's keep moving here. Something we heard a lot about from your booth at NADA that I want to talk about is POP. You've got MPOP, you got iPOP, you got all these different POPs. Help me understand some of these. These sound really cool, but help me dive into these a little bit more.
Great question. It's not soda. It's pop. Bummer. The M pop.
Not bummer for dealers. Let me make that clear. Bummer that it's not Diet Coke, but you know.
Darn it.
Sorry. Anyway, continue.
So it all started with the M pop. So that's our patented technology, and that is really the backbone of all that we do. So it allows us to merchandise a dealer's inventory. It allows us to create ones, publish everywhere. So kind of what we talked about earlier in terms of that ability to see something in an ad and then follow it all the way to a VLP. That's where it all started. So our founders figured out that people had that issue where they would see a great payment, a $199 lease, they'd click on it and never be able to find it again. Well, that just immediately loses that trust in your dealers, that transparency that, again, we're all really looking for as consumers. So that's what really prompted the MPOP. We, of course, are always looking to grow. We're listening to our dealers. We're trying to figure out what's needed, what's next, and build our product accordingly. So that gave way to the iPop. The iPop is our newest piece of technology, and again, kind of brought forth by that idea of continuing the path. So it went from a VLP, a vehicle landing page that has all of our information, full of SEO value, but our dealers kept on saying, well, I want it everywhere. We then saw that there were some providers out there who would have a payment, but then when you went to customize your payment, so you came in, what were you shopping for when you bought your car?
Mazda CX-3.
Ooh, I thought you were going to say Corvette, but that's good too.
I wish, let me say that.
So
One day.
So we'll get there. So you started with your Mazda CX-3. So let's say you go to, the VDP for that, and it says $199 for a lease for 36 months. Okay. Then you go to customize your payment, and suddenly it's $349 to lease it for 36 months. It has a finance payment of $549. How are you feeling about that?
A little uneasy.
A little uneasy.
I just saw a jump of X amount of dollars.
Yes, exactly. You were excited. You felt good about it. You had taken the next click. You'd spent your time, right? So now you're a little bit frustrated. You have that moment of that dealer. They kind of lied to me, right? Yeah. Not to say that you won't come back, but it does, take you back for a second. So there was that point of uneasiness, that opportunity to make it, again, a little bit more seamless, a little bit more user-friendly. So that's where the iPop came in. We have these payments. They're compliant. They're built with all the available incentives, and now they're showing everywhere. That's one part of the iPop. The second part of the iPop is fitting this need of being able to filter by payment. So we're becoming a payment-driven consumer group. We have to serve that need. So the ability to, again, filter and find by payment. And then the third part of that is we had a lot of dealers who said, but I still want to show the pricing that I want to show
Sure.
that might require additional steps for compliance reasons. We're always going to try to do right by our dealers. We don't need the compliance strikes. They don't need the compliance strikes. So the next step of integration is the ability to unlock. So you have that payment. Now you can unlock. You can have the consumer put in everything needed for PII, and now they can unlock your special pricing. So again,
Wow.
pretty
That's
amazing.
impressive. That's really cool.
We're very lucky to have the group that we work with. So, so those are the three factors that really make the iPop the enhancement of the MPOP. So kind of the leveling up, if you will.
Sure. That's great. That's super innovative. Very cool stuff. We've been talking a lot about sales to start our conversation. Let's shift gears, talk a little bit about service. Can you share some marketing nuggets maybe for the service side of the dealer business?
Absolutely. This is by far the most underutilized part of the dealership. And it's really, again, something that we know drives everything, right? Sales can
Absolutely.
be down.
Mhm.
You're going to have a car no matter what that's going to need servicing. Everybody does. So it really is a mentality shift of trying to get in front of somebody that might need it to understanding that they will need it. They just need to choose you, right? So in terms of marketing, I think the biggest opportunity that I tell dealers about is to figure out what is most popular in your aisle, right? So a very easy tip, and again, kind of the spring cleaning that I'm on a trend for here, is that I would recommend that everybody go to their service team and say, what are your most frequently asked questions? Your top 5, right?
Sure.
Chances are there's going to be overlap. There's an opportunity for SEO value right there. So why aren't those listed on your website, right?
Right.
The other
Absolutely.
thing is, how do people find you for service? Number one place, your service GBP. They want to know where they're going. They want to know the service hours. They want to know how to get in touch with you. And then the last part that they're going to look to find is if you have any offers. Something that I think we do ourselves a disservice in terms of dealerships with is that we just take the OEM level service offers and have them plastered across our site. That's great. People should know about them, but there's an opportunity to really supercharge what you're offering. So tire season, everybody's going to want some tires. We just talked about it, getting out of those winter tires, right?
Yeah.
Oil changes, availability with different mileages. So again, we know people need it. Why aren't we getting them the information that they need to make those decisions? Why aren't we setting ourselves up, answering the questions we know that they're going to ask?
Awesome insight, Carly. Again, thanks for joining me to share some of these awesome insights. One last question for you that I'd like to ask all of our guests. Is there anything else you'd like to add about kind of the state of, the sales at auto dealerships from your perspective or marketing in general?
Everything we talked about really comes down to reducing the friction for the customer, making it easy to find the answers that they're looking for. So whether it's payment driven, whether it's even how to figure out if you're the one that they should get their service from, it's all about providing the answers that people are looking for in the most optimized way. So mobile first, and again, answering the questions that anybody's looking to have answered. So if dealers can take away one thing, it's to put themselves in the state of their customers, go through the experience that their customers are having, and figure out how to make it, again, just seamless and easier, the least amount of friction possible.
Awesome. Again, great insight, Carly. Thank you so much for joining me in studio today.
Kyle?
And thanks for watching this Auto Success Executive Spotlight. We'll see you next time.